After my last contest, I had to come to face a fact that was pretty obvious to a lot of other people, and that is that I had just become too skinny. I wanted to put my muscle size back on, and with a quickness, so I decided to try my first ever bulk. And this is the result. As you can see, I'm a little fluffier around the middle, but overall I am much bigger all over. The warm-up for my training didn't really change at all. I've been using the same standard warm-up now for a few years, except for the rope-a-dope 10 spot. I started doing the 10 minutes of jump rope with my bare feet. And what I found is that from below the knee, everything below the knee, to the tip of the toes gets worked much harder without the shoes. I have some good news for those of you who don't have access to a gym and heavy weights. The heaviest weight that I lifted in this whole bulk cycle was only 20-pound dumbbell. And that I only started in the past week or so. This particular series of exercises I probably started around March of this year. I'm not a big muscle confusion fan. I'm a big let's get some reps fan. So I started this with 10-pound dumbbells, and then I went to 12 pounds, and neighbor gave me some 15-pounders, and then that's where it got tough, because the next increment from 15 pounds is 20. After that, they only do 5-pound increments. So what I did is I took some 2.5-pound wrist weights and strapped them on my wrist to try to make the jump a little easier from 15 to 20 pounds. That worked for my arms and shoulders, but what I found out when I started doing the 20-pounders is that the weight on my wrist didn't do anything for my forearms. And as you can see, I am using the fat grips, so the forearms are getting quite a workout. That was a big 5-pound jump. Touch me, feel me, then you will find we are meant to be. I ain't lying. The important takeaway is that you can build muscle with lighter weights. You just need to use higher reps. And I'm doing sets of 21, actually. It has to be at least 20. And I do the extra rep just for one to grow on. So this is a series of several different exercises, the first of which are curls, then the behind the neck press. That one was the W's. And in the next set, I do bent over rows and then squats. So the first 3 exercises, I do 5 sets, and the third and the fourth set, I add the rows and the squats, and then the 5th set is just the first 3 exercises again. So a total of 5 sets. You can also see that I'm wearing a weighted vest. It's 20 pounds, and I started wearing it primarily for the push-ups. I wore it throughout all 5 sets, just so I don't have to stop and go put it on. Once I start, then hey, I start. I try to take about 90 seconds to maybe 2 minutes in between sets, and that's about it as far as the rest. I was doing this workout, this routine, 6 days a week, the same routine. I did that up until I started with the 15-pound dumbbells and the 2.5-pound wrist weights. And at that point, hurt my back. So after a week of doing absolutely nothing except laying down, and I went back to it. I decided that I was going to do every other day, so it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that I started, and I've been doing that for the past 2 weeks, I think it is. There are no excuses. Light weights in a little space, and you can get a whole body workout. You could actually call this my 6th set. I do this directly after the dumbbells in the garage. Take it to the backyard, pull out the Indian clubs. These clubs are actually 3-pounders, so this is probably a medium weight for this type of exercise. I really like swinging the Indian clubs. It's been called circular weight training for the deltoids, and I believe that's highly effective in strengthening the delts from every conceivable angle. You're probably not going to wind up with giant shoulders from this, but they will be strong. Six minutes with the Indian clubs, and that concludes my weight training sessions. So that's all I did as far as weight training. So the question is, how could I possibly have gained so much muscle? In answer to my prayer, here's the understanding that came to me. I had been under eating for so long that my body became like a dry sponge. And as soon as I started eating, it was like water to a dry sponge. My body just sucked it up. So I gained 35, 36 pounds in 70 days just by eating. So had I already been following, the typical eat 6 to 7 to 8 meals a day protocol, I don't think this would have been as effective. The mere fact that I had already been under eating made the overeating really jumpstart the growth process. So if you can accept it, this is what I'm going to be following for the next year or so, at least, is shorter periods of undereating followed by a shorter period of overeating. And the goal is simply this: the next time I step on stage, to be 200 pounds of solid muscle. I know all this sounds a little crazy, but how are you going to argue with this?